So, Attack on Titan, chapter 139, the last and final chapter for Attack on Titan for possibly ever. Who knows? Maybe he'll come back and do either a sequel or something. I don't know. Well, how was it? Well, yeah. Spoilers ahead for chapter 139. So if you have not read it yet, please go and do so. Or if you just don't care and you want to know what my thoughts on it are, thank you very much for wanting to watch. Oh my god. I read it for the first time, literally 10 minutes ago, and I did my best to try and not let all I saw on the timeline today, and I think yesterday, was people just shitting on this chapter like it was the worst thing ever. And so I think I mentioned this in my last chapter review for it, that I did my best to try and not let other people's opinions on this chapter to try and cloud my judgment. I wanted to go into this with an open mind and see what I thought of the chapter. I think I went on record saying that the last chapter broke my heart, and not in the way you might think. This chapter broke my heart in the way you think. And you know me, I try to find the best. Like, what did I like about this chapter, and so on. Honestly, I didn't like it. I no, this was just fucking bullshit. Here, let me see what. Let me pull up the chapter real quick, because so it basically starts off with Armin and Eren. They're kids. I don't know if Eren was talking to him when they were kids, or what the deal. I don't like. Maybe he was talking to them with their paths. I think because they're not old enough for him to have had his Titan powers yet. They're talking, and Aaron's basically just explaining why he did what he did. Basically setting up the rest of the his people, so that way they could be the saviors of humanity. And basically, yada yada. Pretty much, basically this was just a bootleg version of Lelouch from Code Geass. Like, at first, I was just like, okay, I don't understand how people can kind of make that. I can kind of see how people can make, that similarities. This was just done, and honestly, in my opinion, this was just done fucking horribly. Like, here's the thing. With Lelouch, he wanted to take care of his sister. And that was honestly so much more believable in the way how it was done. But and just with the rest of his people, like the rest of think the Japanese. Yeah, I can't remember if there was like a special. I can't remember. It's been a minute since I've seen the show, so current link down below. But I think it was just the Japanese were being discriminated against by Britannia. But this, you know what? Now I understand. Again, I think I said this in my last Attack on Titan chapter video. Isayama, said he was going to create a spa with the tears of his readers. Yeah, I'm crying because this is just done horrible, man. Like, I'm just gonna go ahead and go straight to what was easily my biggest concern. Like, what really, I think, just was what ruined this for me. Okay, all right. This is what ruined it for me. There. Okay, I just noticed that there was a speech bubble missing, but either way. Mikasa ought to forget about a heartbreaker like you and find happiness elsewhere. Well, she might easily find a good man, and Aaron's like, no. And he's just, I don't want that. I don't want her to find another guy. I want her to only have feelings for me. Even after I die, I want her to hold me in her heart for a long time. What in the ever-loving fuck was that? That... God, like... Here's the thing. I have said this so many fucking times, and I will continue to say this. I am a simp. I will simp for beautiful people till the day I fucking die. I do not care. I have no shame in that. Sanji. A simp. One of my favorite Straw Hats. Honestly, probably tied for first for favorite Straw Hat. Video on that coming whenever I can, whenever. So expect that in the future. I love him because he's a simp. Because, you know, again, we're both simps. We both love to cook. I expect that from him. Master Roshi, Jiraiya. Fun, pervy characters. That's fine. That's been part of their character for years. That's what they were established as, you know, pervy characters. When the fuck has Eren ever talked like that? When? Like, here's the thing. When has he ever fucking talked like that? Honestly, from what I remember, never. He has never once ever conducted himself like that. And so in the last fucking chapter, you have him saying about how he doesn't want Mikasa to move on with her life, and who wants to be the only man for her. What the fuck, man? And there's not even, and then there's just, it's almost like everything he did was for fucking nothing. All the other races are still, like, even after having a fucking truce in the last chapter where, the last few chapters where the Paradisians and the Eldians were like, okay, we'll work together so we can survive. And at the near the end after that, they're just like, how do we know you're not fucking Titans? I was like, not normal people. Well, like, if we were Titans, we would be... Basically, it was all for fucking nothing. Like, this was what my main concern was, is that this isn't a bittersweet ending. This isn't a happy ending. Honestly, if this is what Isayama planned 11 years ago to create, more power to him. He wrote the story that he wanted to write, and he wrote it. But this literally just, this broke me. Like, I'll be the first to admit, surprisingly, other than the best video on my fucking channel, which was the Attack on Titan Colossal Editions, Attack on Titan has never been one of my all-time favorite series. I've enjoyed it, absolutely. You know, or else I wouldn't have bought the Colossal Editions, which I still stand by. Yeah, unless you're a huge fan or a collector, don't bother with it. But that's for another time. But oh my god, like, maybe, you know what? And you know what? I admit, right now I could be a little too harsh. This is that was just my first read through, and after I read it, I had to talk about it. The very last thing we see is a bird just flying around. And I'm not talking about we pretty much more or less see Mikasa walking out with Eren's head, and that's when everybody regains their memories. They return their memories, and because Mikasa killed Eren, Titans disappeared. Connie, Gabby, Jean, they all come back. They're no longer Titans. Like, God, dude, like, I actually enjoyed that in the last chapter. Everybody turning into Titans, and they were just like, they accepted their fate just for Eren to die and then they revert back to human. No, like that. I don't know. I just no. Like I said, the last thing we see in this chapter. Let me just go ahead and scroll through it. We see, basically, long story short, Historia's the queen. Jeez, 3 years passed, which they call the battle of heaven and earth. Basically, nation of Eldia formed an army under the Jaeger faction and is focusing on strengthening its military forces. And they're just like, they're being prepared for the humans on the other side of the ocean to come back and attack. So basically what Eren did was for fucking nothing. And how they gotta fight, whatever. And how they're talking about how this fight's not gonna end until Eldians or the rest of the world is wiped out. The rest of the Survey's corpse and everybody, they're going around peace-bearing, fruit-bearing mission, trying to establish peace. Levi's fucked up, like, badly. He's in a wheelchair, looks like it. The last thing we see is they're at the tree. Mikasa's underneath there saying, everyone's going to be here to meet you and you're happy, right? And she's like, I wish I could see you again. And after she says that, a bird comes and picks at the scarf and then flies away. And it's basically saying, Eren, that you wrap this scarf around me. Look, if you like this chapter, if you like this and you thought it was a fine ending, good for fucking you. And I'm not saying that to be a dick. Good for you. I'm glad you. I thought I was, I thought I'd be different and I'd be able to enjoy this chapter for what it was. No. I don't know. Like I said, maybe I'm being too harsh. Maybe if I go back and reread it after a couple of days, maybe a week from now, maybe my thoughts will change. And if that does happen, I'll make a quick update for this. I'm like, an update video on my thoughts, but this, no, I'm just rambling at this point. If you enjoyed this chapter, please let me know down below. Tell me why you liked it. If you didn't like it, tell me exactly why. And as you can tell, different setting. I officially moved last couple of days. So that's why the last couple of weeks videos have been kind of slow on the channel. Just preparing for a big move. I moved to West Virginia, 8-hour drive from where I was at. But yeah, anyway, if you made it this far, thank you very much. Y'all have a great day, and I'll see y'all later.